let's cover the next part of the session. So I'll be covering the common tool, that is job execution notification. So agenda is like, so in all our BI projects, we are doing data pulls using jobs, and we are doing ETL runs. Now, so to gather those information, to get those information in email, we used to write scripts so that we can get the information in your inbox. So I have created a tool which you can integrate easily in your scripts, and you'll get all the required information regarding your jobs. Okay, so agenda needs an overview of this tool, prerequisites, understanding and deployment, sample calls, script integration, and advantages over current implementation. So need. So need, as I told you, that we need for our BI projects. So we need to know the data refresh status. So sometimes when I'm at home and my job is failing in the day, and I started at the evening, and if I go home, I need to know whether it is passed or not. But I don't have RAS connection, so how do I know? Okay, so without RAS, it comes in my inbox. Okay, I'm sure I can sleep now. So second point is get consolidated report for the refresh statistics. So every time I can't go to job activity monitor and each step that what was the status of job, whether it is passed or not. And the broader visibility, like, okay, you are a developer, you can check it, tester can check it, but your manager, how he will know? He can't go to every time, every job, whether it is passed or not. Or if the stakeholders are also want to know what is the status of job, whether our data is refreshed or not, how they will know? Use this. So at the end of this PPT, what you will get, I'll tell you, you will get this, you will be able to configure this kind of email. So this is sample email configured for the T36 project. So first is job summary. Second section, job execution summary, where we have covered the whatever steps which is executed in the job. Second, what all are the packages which executed and their success, start time, end time, success, and your execution status, and the DFT summary. So DFT summary is nothing but a source and destination, how many rows flew in our database, the count of the previous flow, the new flow, and the differences. Okay, so these are four are the, and one more is ETL package execution failure. Whenever it fails, what are the reasons? Okay, so what are the prerequisites? First of all, so we are leveraging on this MSDB and SSIS-DB catalog. So first of all, you need to deploy your your SSIS packages using project deployment model. And second is update the logging level to verbose in your jobs if you are integrating your packages in the job, or in the package if you want to directly execute your package from SSMS. So demo, there's nothing rocket science in the demo, but still you can see how easy it is. So this is my server, and this is my integration catalog. Partner RM is the folder name. Partner RM source data pool is the project name where my 3 packages are hosted. GMT data pool, MPN reporting data pool, this thing. So I will right click on the first package and click on execute. So what we are doing, we are upgrading the logging level to verbose. I will go to advanced. I will change the logging level to basic to verbose. And if you click on OK, package start executing in verbose mode. Okay, so what is verbose mode? What was the basic? Okay. Okay. So there are for logging information in the SSIS-DB, we have multiple options. Like we don't want to log anything done. We want to log basic things like at what time package started, at what time it ended, and at what time overall status. So this kind of information, if you need, you can choose the basic logging level. If you want to log each and every event, that what all DFT or your package component ran, and if you say how many rows data flow happened and what all are the errors came. So you need to move to the WordPress mode. So for integration in job, so this is the npm search datapool. The first is the SIS package step. So I will go to the configuration mode. I will go to the advanced. Then signal, okay. I'll go to the advanced. I'll update the login level to basic to WordPress. So our prerequisites are done. Pretty easy. Okay. So now there are two scripts. First is you generate refresh statistics. What it does, it takes the input parameters from the user about the jobs, about the package names, where they are located, all those things. And second is send refresh email notification. So the generate refresh statistics store procedure internally call the email notification script, and it automatically send the consolidated report to the recipients.
So this these stored procedures, we need to insert these stored procedures into our packages that we have created, just before or after execution, something like that.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so these
I will
are
be coming.
okay.
Okay, so there are few parameters in the scripts. The first three are mail recipients, copy and mail profile. Basic one, to whom you want to send, what is the mail profile you want to choose. And subject area name is what should be the subject line of your email. So if I want to sample data refresh is my subject line, then it will be, and then is successfully completed on -- server, that will be appended on the subject line. What is the team? Team is signature. Header, if you want a specific heading in your email. Job name, in which job you want to integrate this. Package name, SIS folder name, SIS package name, project name. So these are ETL packages related information. So okay, if I am providing package name, why I need SIS folder name, SIS project name? Anybody can tell me this answer? Why I kept three things? As package name will suffice my needs. Okay.
Maybe it's there on the SIS DB, so we require the
No, actually.
Same package.
Yeah. Thing is that suppose you have the sample package, and you have created multiple folders like tab, test, and prod. So how SISDB will find which package you are referring to? So just to uniquely identify. Okay. And the last is five are the configuration parameters. So the section which I just showed you in the mail, that is like, is job history required? If you want to add job history section, is ETL history required? Which package executed? Is ETL failure detail are required? So if the ETL failed, what all information you want? Is row count comparison, the TFT summary, how many data flow happened? That information. And the last one is script included in the same job. If you are including this script in the same job for which you want to get the result, you need to set the bit to 1. Okay, script deployment.
Okay, Gaurav, team signature, you told something right?
Okay, so after whenever I send a refresh mail, this is the refresh mail. Thanks, Venkatesh team.
Okay.
Those things.
Venkatesh,
Venkatesh. Okay, script deployment, we have two scripts. Just executing the scripts in any single database on your server. It will suffice needs of all your jobs for all your databases. Just creating those scripts, nothing else. Okay, make sure you are executing in the correct database. So after executing this, we have successfully deployed the script. And again, nothing rocket science over here. Okay, sample call. So as I discussed with you, there are some parameters, some values we need to provide. So we can execute this generate refresh statistics store procedure with following parameters. Okay. So we have covered the prerequisites, execute script in database, and script integration job is left. Okay. So I will add these script on the last step of my job. I will create a new step. Job execution notification step I will add, and I will choose the correct database where my scripts are there, and I will add this step, and I will modify the previous steps to go to to reach this step at the last. Okay, that's it. That's it. You need to do. So by following this process, yesterday we integrated this tool in Partner RM project in just 10 minutes. Seriously, 10 minutes. Okay. Okay. So what are the advantages over the current implementation? I know that most of us are already created those scripts. What are the advantages over that? So one thing, now you need not to write the scripts from scratch.
One small question.
Okay.
You added that step at the last of the job, and
Yeah.
if that is executing at the last of the job, then how am I going to get the data pull status? Means, is it something like data different, so many rows changed and so many things updated?
No, question is that why I added those step in last. So the thing is that when we want notification at the end of the job, what is the all notification? If we execute the step in the start, so we can't predict the result, right? So first everything should be.
Question different. Is question different?
Okay.
How we will be counting the row counts?
Okay, that row count is directly coming from the SSIS DB. I will tell. Okay, so what are the advantages over there? The refresh statistics are coming from SSIS DB. So after when we configured it to verbose mode, all other data flow tasks are logging into the SSIS DB. So we can get those information directly. So now there is no overhead of counting the rows during ETL runs. Once you are created, you need not to add it if you forget to add those things. Okay. So now we can duplicate the requirements of keeping additional tables in our database to store the refresh statistics. Why? Because this information is already present in SSIS DB. And second is retry mechanism in jobs. So what happens when a job step, so it fails and it retries 2-3 times and it succeeded finally, but the overall status is coming as failed in current implementation, because if job has a 5-step and the 3rd step succeeded after 2 attempts, so there are overall 8 steps where 2 steps are failed. So this override this limitation. Third is overall job status. So this is very tricky. Sometimes what we developer do that if there are 10 steps and my 5th step is failing again and again, to show the people that my job is working fine, what I will do, at the 5th step, I will make it on failure, go to next step. So, and if rest of the steps continue to run and execute it successfully, nobody will know whether it is failed or not. Okay, so trust me, I do this. So to overcome with this limitation, so we are doing step-by-step comparison, and you are finding the accurate result. Okay. So what are the sample? First I have shown you. This is the message after success. So importance will be low. Result will mark as succeeded. Job summary. What are the package executed? What are the status? What is the row count previously? and row count in U.
So, Gaurav, one
Yeah.
more thing. This stored procedure is created in one database, partner RM.
Yes.
Let's say my package is touching other databases as well.
Yeah.
So I have updated some partner database also. So those things are also included in my package, and I have connection to the other server as well. Let's say in my one of my packages I am updating something. It's fine.
Please pass them.
So my question is like, we have created one stored procedure in our partner RM database. Now in my job, I am touching other databases as well. Let's say I am modifying some data partner, and in my job I am modifying some databases that are there on the other server as well. So there are databases that are executing on other servers also. So from my job itself, I am doing those things. Now, does it provide the details for those things also?
Okay, so first thing that this row count information we cannot log for stored procedure execution. If we are updating the table and inserting data using stored procedure, that information will not be logged. So we will not get those information. Second is, if you have the stored procedure in one database, can you use across the multiple databases in your which exist in the same server, right?
Means
Yes.
it actually,
Yes, it will.
It generally happens like there are some 4-part naming is also there, 3-part naming is also there. We touch the tables in other databases
Yeah.
and in these servers on other databases. So those things generally happen in our ETL. So since the data flows DFT is there, so I'm
Yeah,
just asking
it will-
this DFT for the other servers also.
Yeah, it doesn't matter in which database this script are created. You can even create, if you are allowed to, in master database. These are just to get collect the refresh statistics. It doesn't matter in which database you are created.
So how it gets those statistics from other server database?
No. So that information it will be collected into the SSIS DB catalog.
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
you are saying whatever
Whatever
we
information.
get in the SSIS
Yeah.
DB catalog for that current job executed successfully or not, from there SSIS DB database you pull it from the stored procedure.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So you can use across the multiple databases and jobs. Okay. And for the failure notification. Okay. So the mail will be sent with a high importance. Result will fail. The change in, instead of the DFT summary, we will have the details of the why it failed. That all the description, so you can find out. If you are at home, you can entire night you can think why it failed. So in the morning you can figure out easily. Okay. So any queries? Mobile.
Question, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
अनिकेत
Seven.